Recently, Carl Froch has been talking quite boldly about wanting to fight Andre Ward. He's been saying it was a bad night. He said that technically he thinks he can come back and adjust things, and he can beat Andre Ward. Andre Ward, on the other hand, who was recently spotted and interviewed by the ringside team of Johnny Nelson and Adam Smith, said that Carl Froch and Eddie Hearn really don't want the fight. So there's the usual back and forth, and Carl Froch has said he wants to avenge the losses to Mikkel Kessler and Andre Ward, much like the way Lennox Lewis avenged his losses to Hasim Rahman and Oliver McCall. So I thought to myself, you know what? It's been a while since I saw that fight. The fight was the 17th of December 2011. We're now the 28th of December 2012. Let's have a look, shall we? So I went back to see this fight that Carl Froch called a bad night. And it wasn't just a bad night, it was an awful night at the office. Froch, and people can be excused to having a bad night, so we can give Froch that. He had a bad night. Let's say he did have a bad night. But according to Andre Ward, he had a bad night too because he damaged one of his hands in the fight. And that's probably because he was hitting Carl on the chin so many times. Coming into this fight, Carl Froch was considered the stronger fighter, the physically bigger puncher, the stronger man in the ring. And in my pre-fight blog coming into this, I saw Ward as the faster, technically better boxer and better on the inside. And I wasn't of the belief that Ward would have to box on the outside to beat Froch. And in my blog, which is attached to this video, I also stated that I believe that Ward would be able to get inside and bully Froch. And that's what you saw. I want to take things a little further in this fight, about this fight. The first thing that was noticeable from the first 30 seconds of this fight, as Froch came forward, Andre Ward hit him with a left hook. Froch has always had a low left arm, low left hand. He's always boxed with a low left hand. And at British, Commonwealth, European, and at world level against certain opponents, that style has done Froch very well. And he's been able to get away with it. But regardless, it's still a technical flaw. Because if you've got a guy who's faster than you and can land punches on you, then it's only a matter of time before they connect. And you saw in the Andre Ward fight, he didn't just connect once with a left hook, he continually connected with a left hook with Carl Froch. The second thing is, I like Carl Froch, don't get me wrong, I like Carl Froch, but you have to be aware of his limitations. Froch is a guy that he throws, his best shots come from long distance, getting his arms and leaping in and throwing shots. He needs to get time to plant his feet and land big bombs, which he was allowed to do against someone like Lucien Boutte. Where someone like Ward is very slippery, he's on the move, he's moving his head, he's ducking, he's weaving, he's moving from left to right, he's giving you lateral movement. It's very difficult for you to plant your feet. And of course, when you've got to plant your feet, Ward is faster. So every time Froch tries to throw shots, Ward is able to counter with a left hook or a hard right hand over the top, or and because Froch is defensively flawed, coming forward, Ward is able to tee off each and every time. When Froch was also forced back in this fight. In fact, he was bullied, and when he was put up against the ropes, Froch was unable to unload punches, and Ward was able to work very easy on the inside, putting his head on his chest and putting his hands around Froch's body to stop Froch from working, and occasionally throwing the old cheeky elbow in as well when throwing punches. Ward is an excellent technician. He's very old school, very, very versatile. He can box, he can fight, he can dance, he can do all the things. So he's a complete boxer. Froch looks good against certain types of opponents, and he is slow of feet. He's slow on his feet. But the things about Froch that are great, he's got a great chin, he's got a fantastic engine, he'll just keep coming and coming and coming. He's got a decent work rate, but against someone who's faster, they're going to teeth and land more punches. And at no point in time did Froch find any way of defending himself against the left hook or the right hand. And when Froch was against the ropes, he was like a novice. He had no way at any point in time of how to deal with Andre Ward. Andre Ward manhandled him against the ropes. It was quite sad to see at times. If you look at the fight, Froch didn't know what to do. He looked across this corner, looking to McCracken. If you look at the tapes, you'll see Froch looking across to McCracken for some sort of support. What should I do? Didn't know what to do. And they're talking about a rematch now. I don't see. Okay, Froch could do better. Okay, for Froch to win the fight in a rematch, if that rematch does happen, if he's going to do it, and if it's in Nottingham, okay, it'll be at Nottingham. But if it's in the UK, the advantages still lie with Ward. What can Froch do differently? Okay, he's had a great win against Butte. He had a great win against Mac. That's great, but they're not Andre Ward. They don't have a short left hook on the inside. They don't bully Froch to the ropes. If you look at the two guys he fought, both of the guys he fought was able to go forward and land them big bombs. Like I said, Froch, with his technique against certain opponents, he's very good against. Guys who are sort of like come forward in straight lines, he's perfect against, and very slow on their feet, he's very, very, very good against. And don't give you much head movement, and he can line up. Those guys are great. Another thing Froch would need to do in the rematch, he'd have to be able to shorten up his punches. He's going to have to be able to throw punches in bunches short, rather than long, winging, wide, wild punches. He's going to have to shorten up his punches. The uppercut would be a key against Ward, as Ward does come in with his hands like this. He does come in like this. If you watch Ward, this area here is open for uppercuts. If Froch can use the uppercut, that's what Froch would have to do to stop Ward coming in, to throw the uppercuts. Froch also must keep away from the ropes. He cannot afford to fight on the ropes. I don't believe Robert McCracken is going to be able to instill enough in Froch at this time. At 35 years old, he's now suddenly going to be able to fight off the ropes. There was one key thing I saw in Froch, gave me a bit of hope with Froch on the ropes. I can't remember whether it was in the 10th or the 11th round. Froch was on the ropes again, and Ward and Froch, out of frustration, spun Ward. He physically just pushed him off him. That's the only way I believe Froch can get himself out of the situation, which is basically don't allow himself to get in the ropes. He must not allow himself to get trapped on the ropes, or it's Ward's fight. The other thing is, you know, there are so many technical flaws within Froch, which makes it a very difficult fight for Froch to win a rematch. In terms of knocking Ward out, yeah, you'll have to be more relaxed, but you can't relax against a guy who's faster than you and constantly with punches. You know, he's got hope that the only hope that Froch has got of winning this fight in a rematch, the only hope is that Ward walks onto something. That's it. He won't be able to stand from the outside and outbox him. Although I think his best chance is to keep the fight in the centre of the ring and and trying to counter punch and let Ward come onto him. Lots of feints with the jab, try and fake the jab, let Ward come in and catch him with uppercuts. But again, when he tries to catch him with the uppercut, he's still open to punches. If Froch decides to fight Ward the way he tried to fight Butte, and against the way he tried to fight against Kessler, he'll get himself hurt again, and it will be a similar outcome, because, you know, or he might even get stopped this time round, because you can't keep getting punched on your chin the way he was getting caught. So Ward, the one other thing, Froch was able to land the right hand much more effectively when Ward turned southpaw. I don't know why Ward turned southpaw, other than the fact that I think he injured his hand. Other than that, tactically, it was not helping Ward, because he didn't look like he was landing any better punches when he was fighting southpaw. and Froch talked about stepping up the gas. If he steps up the gas and starts the fight early, likes to take the fight early to Ward, then there's a possibility he'll walk onto shots as well. So he has to be careful when he fights Ward. So yeah, those are some of the thoughts that come through my mind when I looked at the fight and thought about a rematch. Now, Mika Kessler is the fight that everyone's talking about and saying it's gonna be a war, it's gonna be a brilliant fight. Well, it may be a brilliant fight, but it may not be a good night for Carl Froch if he hasn't addressed the issues with the Andre Ward fight. And here's my point, and remember these points. When Froch fought Kessler, he was an unbeaten fighter. Okay, he was an unbeaten fighter, and he only lost that fight by a close decision. Okay, some people thought that Froch was robbed. Okay, either way, possibly. Okay, however, I think for the rematch, Kessler is a thinker. Kessler's a thinking fighter. When he fought against McGee, he knew to go to McGee's body automatically. So he's a guy that studies tapes. And before he fought Froch, there was no sort of blueprint to beat Carl Froch because Froch hadn't been beaten. So Kessler went toe to toe with Froch and sort of like walked into Froch's best attribute or best style, which is just to come and have a fight. Froch's style is like that. It's wild and it's like, you know, he's a gunslinger. He's the sort of guy that just wants to have a fight with you. That's fine. He likes a war because it allows him to throw those sort of unorthodox shots from angles. That's fine. But I believe Kessler's going to box Froch more in this fight. He'll know now, watching the Ward fight, how to beat Froch. That you've got to get Froch backing up against the ropes. You've got to get your head in his chest. You know, that you can't stand and have a shootout with him in the middle of the ring like that. Lot of head movement. The left hook over that low slung left arm. The left hook over the top and the left hook right hand combination. And body punching. These are the ways to beat Carl Froch. And I believe Kessler will put this sort of tactical approach to a second fight with Carl Froch. And the other thing is, people need to be aware, if they're not aware and watch Kessler carefully, Kessler's been resting himself a lot. He's not been in a lot of wars recently. He's been resting himself. He had a supposed eye injury. He came out of Super 6 early. Then he went up to the light heavyweight division and fought Alan Green. Took a little bit of time out, come back again. So he's taking fights easy. He's come back, he fought McGee, he looked pretty good against McGee. McGee's not Carl Froch, granted, but he's a rested fighter. Carl Froch has fought back to back fights. And on top of this, even Andre Ward, he's had injury here, injury there. He's had time to rest. Froch has been training, not breaking down in training. So for me, you know, I think Froch, for me, is coming to the end of his career. And if he were to get beat by Kessler, I think it would be the end of his career. For me, I'm actually thinking Kessler's going to win this fight. I really do. I love Carl Froch. If Kessler fights the same way he fought before in the UK, Froch will win the fight. But if he uses the tactical nous this time round, I don't know. I think that Kessler can win this fight. I think it'll be another tough fight, but I think Kessler can win this fight by the fact that he'll get inside of Froch and fight on the inside. The Ward Froch fight, return fight if it's in the UK, if he gets past Kessler, the referee will be a key. Smolga, the referee for the first fight Froch and Ward had, was excellent. He allowed the two guys to fight. Whereas I don't think that in the UK, unless they have that referee, they may not allow them to fight the same way. Just a thought. Alright, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, leave your comments. Merry Christmas to those who I didn't say a Merry Christmas to, and a Happy New Year. I'm out.